This video is sponsored by World War Defense Battle. What is the worst event in Piggy build mode? In order to answer this question, I need to ask you a question. Which event has consistently been the buggiest and the hardest to use no matter what map it's in? Let me put it this way. This event breaks when a texture is added to it, it can be moved without the required item, and can sometimes just fall through the floor entirely. When this event was added into Piggy build mode way back then, it was very promising, and that event, my friends, is the drivable car. At first glance, this event sounds super fun on paper. It's a car that can be turned on with a can of gasoline and can be driven at very fast speeds. It can hold a second passenger along with as many other people in the trunk as you want, and has the ability to break its own special kind of event block, the crash blocks. Additionally, if the car falls into the void and you've already used a can of gasoline on it, you won't need to use it again. Before we talk about the next topic, let's talk about World War Defense Battle. Just like how you can have Zizzy, Pony, and Bunny all fight for you, your commander abilities will still hold strong in this 90s arcade-style fictional war. The goal is to lead your army and ultimately defeat the boss at the very end. In short, easy-to-play, side-scrolling, single-player games. In order to be able to progress through these stages effectively, you'll also need to combine items into parent items, alongside, of course, being able to upgrade your items in order to give yourself an advantage over the enemy. All of this action and strategy is formed into short games that make it easy to play and easy to dominate. So if you're looking for a short, retro-style, side-scrolling defensive action game, then World War Defense Battle is just the kind of adventure for you. If you want to download the game, the link will be at the very top of this video's description. On the day this event got added, people started using this new event in creative ways. For one, the obvious, they made racetracks. However, they also started making contraptions with the crash blocks. This player created a giant SpongeBob monster that the players had to defeat, and when SpongeBob was defeated, he used falling cars and crash blocks to change SpongeBob's appearance to one of defeat. Sadly, this is where the positive aspects of the drivable car end. Now, let's talk about the problems with it. First and foremost, the controls. Minitoon, you've nailed everything else in Piggy build mode so far, and everything you've added has been a blast to use and play. So please trust me when I say that the drivable car has the worst controls of any video game car I've ever driven. First of all, the car cannot for the life of it drive straight. In this clip, I'm only holding down the forward key on my keyboard and nothing else. Watch what happens. The other problem with the controls is that it's super hard to turn the car. Even with this wide arc I've built here in this clip, the car just barely makes it, but without the car's movement becoming jittery out of my control and falling off the map. It would just be a better idea if the car made normal wide arcs when moving fast, but could turn sharply when moving slower. That is, if you can control the car's speed in the first place. The second issue are the bugs. The first bug is that if the car's material is plastic, it works just fine. However, if the car's material is anything but plastic, not only will the car's appearance stay the same, but the car becomes jumpy, moves on its own, impossible to drive, and sometimes just flips over. Oh, and by the way, in general, if the car flips over, there's nothing you can do to fix it. In most cases, you have to restart the match to get it right side up, because there's no turn the car over button. In fact, sometimes the car just spawns inside of the floor, so players have to sometimes place their car one block above the ground. But sometimes if they do that, then the car flips upside down. The last issue is something that I actually take advantage of in every map when I see it. I call it cheesing the car. Usually people's maps that use the car and the crash blocks will have their puzzles set up like this. However, players can simply skip getting the gasoline altogether and just push the wheels of the car forward to move the car until the front touches the crash blocks and breaks it. Now, I'm sure this issue would get fixed easily if Minitoon just made the crash blocks only fall when the car has gasoline in it, but that could also mess up some people's mechanics for maps that utilize things, such as the falling cars, although we already have the military can now, so that might not be a big problem. If you want to see more Roblox content like this, subscribe.